What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about those Sucker Punch Sly Cooper comments that, look, to be quite frank here, we already talked about this, and this is something that I think has been very weird that's been going on. You know, the Min-Max show did the interview, the rapid-fire interview with Nate Fox. Great video. You know, I plugged it a couple days ago. We talked about it all, the infamous part, the Sly Cooper part, and the Ghost of Yote part. And the Sly Cooper part has freaking blown up. I think Radic on Twitter posted it. It got like 1.2 million views. I'm seeing IGN run stories. I'm seeing everybody run stories of like Sucker Punch hates Sly Cooper now, and nobody, you know, and it's really taken a life of its own. And I want to just go back and I want to talk about a couple things that I hope are kind of unique to my channel. Of course, a resident Sly Cooper channel here, really, or a person that really adores Sly, maybe more than most people on the internet. So I do have something to say, maybe something stronger than most people would have to say about this. And, well, here's the thing. It's actually not all that strong because I think a lot of this is being overblown. That's kind of my hot take. My hot take is that I think a lot of people are kind of running with something that's really not too big of a deal, and they're making it like, again, I think they're jumping from Nate Fox said this, which we'll talk about, to Sucker Punch hates Sly Cooper. Now, okay, here's the deal. Number one, I highly doubt that Sucker Punch will ever make a Sly Cooper game. I actually, if that's the basis of what people are kind of jumping to, because this interview, I kind of agree with that. I guess where I would go with it is something that I've said many a times, and specifically one of my most powerful comparisons would be Rocksteady. Okay, I don't think the comment matters all that much, simply because if Sucker Punch did make a Sly Cooper game, what changes? And allow me to explain. So I've talked about Rocksteady, right? Rocksteady had obviously done the Arkham games, and they went obviously on a detour with Suicide Squad. So many people have left, right? So the idea is, okay, we'll go back to Arkham. And maybe they are. In fact, well, they are making a Batman game, right? We kind of know that. We don't know if it's an Arkham or a reboot or a remake or whatever, but they're going to make a Batman game. Do you feel better about that? Well, you could argue maybe, maybe not. The thing is, most people at Rocksteady have never made an Arkham game before. You think about Mass Effect, you think about BioWare, right? The people that made your favorite game from 10, 15, 20 years ago are not at those studios anymore. Studios are by name only. Yes, sometimes studios do have talent, or when a big talent moves to a new team, you talk about it, you get excited. So how does this apply to Sucker Punch? That 10% thing, the comment that's blowing up, it's fair. You know, they haven't made a game since Sly game since Sly 3. Okay, that anniversary I think is like September 26th or something, 2005. We're like 2 weeks away from its 20th anniversary. Okay. 20 years, most people have left Sucker Punch. I said when that Min-Max video dropped, I'm actually happily surprised that he said 10%. I know it sounds bad, especially when, you know, different people kind of get their crack at it and they blow it up beyond belief. But in reality, if you told me that 10% of that studio, now I guess the way it was worded, and remember, the way it was worded was how many people, if you went into the studio tomorrow and you said, we're making a new Sly Cooper game, how many people would say, F yeah? That was the line. That's what he was asked. And he said 10%. And then the response was, oh, really? Like, why so low? And he said, it's been a long time. And the general idea, like what everybody goes to, is, well, why is it 10%? It's not because they hate Sly Cooper. It's not because the exact same team from 2005 is still there, and all of a sudden now they just freaking despise the brand that really blew up Sucker Punch. No, it's that there's 10% of the people left that even made. That's why he made that comment afterwards. That's why he said it's been so long. It's been so long, as in nobody that's there has made a Sly Cooper game. So how can they get excited to make a new Sly Cooper game? I have other news for you too. If you couldn't believe that, I have other news for you. You want to know? I imagine. I guess I don't know this for sure. Do you know how many people are still there that made Infamous 1? Probably not 10%, but probably not 30, 40, 50%. Probably less. Probably somewhere between like 10 and 30%. How many people there made an Infamous game, period? You talk about Infamous 1, how about Infamous 2? That was just a couple of years later. How about Second Son? That was over 10 years ago. How many people are still there after 10 years? And I know maybe I'm getting mad, and you could be saying, well, what's the point? I don't actually think it's that big of a deal. Number one, I think it's actually a happy surprise that 10% of the people that made Sly, and Nate Fox, of course, he's been around forever. He made Sly, right? But there's very few people. I'm surprised it's 10% of the studio. I'm surprised 10% of the studio would even know what Sly Cooper is. Another thing is like, because what I'm seeing a lot of people, I'm seeing the articles and the headlines, right? I'm seeing a lot of people, again, I think, kind of attack Sucker Punch or say, well, it doesn't matter, like have Sucker Punch make it anyway, or, okay, well, at this point, just give it to a new studio. I guess what I have to, like, why I wanted to make this video, let me insert myself into other people's conversations. My point is, it actually doesn't matter. And I think I said this on Twitter today even. What's funny and what's kind of weird is if you gave Sly, if say you forced a studio to make Sly, if you force Sucker Punch to make Sly, you're almost doing the exact same thing as if you're forcing like a random. And that's the thing I just wish more people would understand. That's why I guess I went on that tangent with Rocksteady. It's like, most studios are like this. We talk about, okay, well, if Sucker Punch doesn't want to do it, give it to somebody new. Number one, I think that should be the plan anyway. Number two, I see a lot of people saying like, well, we tried that. We gave Sly 4 to a different team, and look what happened. I don't like that argument. I think that's a pretty bad argument, to be honest with you, because, again, if almost no one from Sucker Punch has ever made a Sly Cooper game, it's the exact same thing. Maybe it's the talent level. You could say, well, those are the makers of Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yotei, so they're very talented devs. But the idea, I think the angle that a lot of people are leaning on is the care. You're trying to find a team that cares and has the people that made. So does that make sense? I think that's why people are getting like weirdly mad about it, where they're thinking, oh, Sucker Punch all of a sudden hates Sly. They don't hate Sly. They've never worked on a Sly game. And that's everybody. Like, the amount of people at Naughty Dog that's worked on Uncharted 1 is probably also 10%. It's such a small number. So when you say, well, just give it to a new studio, if you gave Sly to Sucker Punch, you are basically giving it to a new studio. That's the whole point. Because Sucker Punch is just Sucker Punch by name alone. That's all it is. When you say the word Sucker Punch, yes, you and I think of Sly, we think of Infamous, we think of Ghost, right? But like the people that are working there now, they might only know Ghost of Tsushima because that's the only Sucker Punch game they've ever worked. Does that make sense? That's the whole Rocksteady thing. Yeah, get excited about a new Batman game. Now I am excited about a Batman game. I always will take DC games, obviously. But do you know how many of those people have worked on Arkham Asylum? I guarantee you it's less than 20%. So should you be all that excited? Because you're thinking, well, Rocksteady and Batman. Well, it's something I think people need to stop doing, because it's not Rocksteady and Batman. That's a name. That's a studio name. You got to think about the people working at the studio. It's more like the Arkham team and this new Batman game. Are they the same thing? Or is that the same Arkham team that made the Arkham games of 10, 15 years ago? No, it's not. The Sucker Punch right now, you're not getting anything. You're getting the heritage. You're getting, oh my God, they used to make Sly. You're getting the company has made Sly Cooper games in the past. Nate Fox has made a Sly Cooper game in the past. You're not getting, oh my God, we're reuniting the Sly Cooper 3 team. No, they're gone. They're so gone. There's only a handful, like probably literally a handful left. 10, 20, 30 people max, right? So it's like, that's kind of where I want to come. I think people are blowing it way out of the water. It's not going to come from them anyway, if there is a Sly game, number one. And number two, if it did come from them, I don't like the argument of saying, well, we tried it with Sanzaru, with Sly 4, and look what happened. The amount of people that cared about Sly. Here's the interesting thing. The team that makes Sly, say a team of 60 people, okay? There's a team of 60. They make the next Sly Cooper game. Say they're doing it right now. There's more people there that care about Sly because they're working on the game. They have to care. There's more people that care than at Sucker Punch, just because of numbers. So, yeah, you might get mad that, oh, well, why are they making it and not Sucker Punch? Don't worry about it. Like, that's truly where I'm at. Don't worry about it. They actually have more care, and it's not a slight. I guess you can maybe look at that like, well, F Sucker Punch. No, like, leave them alone. That's my whole point. It's okay. It's okay. Nate Fox, I think, cares about Infamous. I think he cares about Sly. He's talked about them. I think during the Ghost of Tsushima, like, press tour, he was asked about them, and he did say, like, he would like to do them again. Like, and he's the creative director. He's got power. I don't know if he could force a whole team to do it, but he cares about it. So I have no bones to pick with him. I don't care. I don't care about the studio and their thoughts of Sly. I'm kind of just, like, at peace with it. Because I understand. Because I get that Sucker Punch team is not the Sucker Punch team of 20, years ago. Giving them Sly 5 does not give them an inherent advantage over a brand new team, like say Sanzaro with Sly 4. It doesn't, maybe because of that 10%, but in reality, the other 90% is going to do a lot of work on it, and they've never made a Sly game, just like the news studio isn't it? Does that make sense? The news studio has never made a Sly game. That's 100%. This is 90%. They're pretty freaking close, right? It's just not the same team. I wish people got that, and that's something like BioWare. You know, the team that's making Mass Effect, yes, they brought in a lot of veterans back, but it's maybe 20 people. Like, how many people that are making the new Mass Effect game, how many of them made the original Mass, or even that trilogy, right? It's going to be like, say, 20 out of 100 or 20 out of 200. It's the minority. It's not the majority. They're not bringing back the dead of that team that did it. BioWare, the team that made the Dreadwolf, right? Dragon Age, they're not the ones who made Dragon Age 1. There's very few of them left. So many teams are like that. And it's sad. I'm not saying, by the way, that it's something you have to rejoice. It's actually coming, that in what I'm saying with those games, I'm coming at it from a place of sadness, you know? But I think teams that are able to evolve and can still keep making good games, even with different people swapping in and out, those are the best teams, right? Like, say a Naughty Dog, right? Like the people that made Jak and Daxter and Crash, or Crash, then Jak, like, these are not people necessarily that are still there, but as a company, you know, they've gone from Crash to Jak to Uncharted to Last of Us, like, they've jumped around and they've stayed consistently good, but the people have not stayed. Like, they have swapped so many, probably almost 95% of that team has swapped between the beginning and now. That's what separates them. I think that's what makes them a very good team, is the people have constantly changed, but they've always stayed really talented, right? Whereas maybe some teams swap people and they get worse. The people that they bring in are not as good. So there's my rant for today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.